There was once a little old lady who lived all alone in a little old house. With her husband gone, and her children with families of their own, this little old lady had not much to do with her time left. In fact, she was almost always doing the same thing, every day, all day. She would sit at her little old table and complete her little old puzzles. One day, the little old lady was looking high and low for a new puzzle to complete as her collection of uncompleted puzzles was dwindling. After a long while looking, she had found 2 uncompleted puzzles, one of which was a cat. The other, however, was quite complex. From what she could gather from the box, with her very poor eyesight, was that the second puzzle was of an old man, about her age, sitting near a lake doing a puzzle. The picture on the box made her smile, as the lake shone reminded her of the lake her husband loved to visit once a month to go fishing. It had always comforted her to know that he died doing what he loved. She had made her decision. Tossing the cat puzzle aside, she promptly shuffled into the lounge and took her place at the coffee table. Taking one last look at the box, she noticed something odd. A shadow coming from behind a tree. And it most certainly wasn't the tree's shadow. With her poor eyesight, she wasn't in any condition to make it out from such a small picture, and decided it'd be easy to see once the puzzle was made. With that, she tossed the lid aside and started placing pieces in front of her. It was after connecting 12 or so pieces that she noticed something quite peculiar. The puzzle she was making had no match to the picture on the box. They were completely different. She could already tell the scene she was making was of an indoor scene, instead of the outdoor scene on the box. She was a little miffed, but decided to continue and not let it ruin her fun. On she went with the puzzle. She took few breaks and continued late into the night. This was one of the biggest puzzles she'd ever taken her hand to. She had guessed at around 300 pieces. This was a lot for this little old lady. She was used to doing small puzzles with owls and grapes in them. She had never done a scene like this before. The hour was late when she scuffled off into bed with a half-complete puzzle sitting on the table. As she was lying there in bed, she couldn't shake the feeling like she'd seen that puzzle before. Or at least, the scene it depicted. As she drifted off to sleep, she decided that it must be somewhere she visited as a young girl or as a young lady. Whatever it was, she was certain that she'd been there before. The little old lady arose early that morning, eager to continue her puzzling puzzle. She sat in the lounge with her tea and toast, staring at her half-completed puzzle, trying to make out the scene. But she just couldn't place it. She decided there was only one thing to do. She must complete that puzzle lickety-split. So on she went with her puzzling puzzle, and by 12 o'clock, she was 3/4 of the way through it, and instead of stopping for lunch, on she went, determined to have it done in the next hour or so. There were but 20 pieces remaining when it hit her. The previous few key pieces finally revealed the depicted scene. She gasped as she noticed that the puzzle she was making depicted the very room she was sitting in. After sitting silently for a while, she decided that it must be a custom puzzle someone had made, though why someone would make a puzzle of her lounge confused her. But in her mind, that was the only explanation. She proceeded slower than before and started placing the remaining 20 pieces into the very center of the puzzle, which she decided, if she was indeed seeing it correctly, would make up the coffee table and the couch she was sitting on. With the last 8 pieces in hand, she slowly fitted them to the very center of the puzzle. What they revealed chilled her to the very core. The scene was indeed her lounge, and in the very center was her couch and coffee table, and sitting there on the couch was a little old lady doing a puzzle. Quickly darting her eyes around the puzzle, her mouth agape, she noticed in the puzzle a shadow at the window. A shadow that was very much like the one in the box. The detectives at the scene couldn't immediately tell how she had died. All they knew was that she was found face down next to the puzzle box, the cover of which had changed. It now showed a little old lady. Completing a puzzle in the comfort of her little old lounge.